while plainly relieving humanity of suffering and misshapenness or abnormal appearances, even to the point of erasing ugliness or political incorrectness, first through plastic surgery and bioremediation, then in images with computer graphics, then in wholesale restructuring, adult genome remediation, the compilation of cells and structure comprising an individual human being, inadvertently created a new genre of biological problems that began to compile. Humanity drove a wedge between themselves and nature for the second time. The first was, of course, in the Garden of Eden after the fall. Humanity was one with the fallen universe as part of a continuum of creation. Original sin caused physical degeneration, mortality, suffering, and death could not be corrected piecemeal from the continuum of humanity without removing the course of human evolution from the complete complex of compresence existing as beings within the whole field of the natural universe, co-developing in interaction with it. Intelligence, while a gift to humanity, was able to bring obvious harm as well. When harm done was in the aggregating removal by intellect of the physical body from integral natural coevolution within the natural universe set into being by God. The natural universe, one, has its own self-consistent reality. For anything to exist, it must tautologously be self-consistent within the parameters it is given by perceivers of it, until our perceptions coincide with the self-consistent for itself of the entire phenomenal universe. Pluralist forms of the universe must be self-consistent with the universe, and perceptions of forms in the universe by perceivers that must accurately delineate a priori such contingent forms of as are perceived and theoretically modeled. The universe contains human perceivers and set the boundary conditions of perceptions and the potentially perceptible. God has set the boundary conditions of the universe, the potential for the universe to be regarded as a self-consistent form, and the possibilities that human reason and perception have of discovering self-consistent inertial nexuses of phenomenality given the boundary conditions of the created. When the intellect alters human form, it is consistent with no reality at all. Relating the human form to the natural universe from its altered state requires something like introducing a rider in a hover jet traveling to the ground speed by stepping out the door. Altering the physical nature of mankind is in no way the same as changing a human spirit through faith in Jesus Christ. Faith in Jesus Christ can save one from the altered physical condition. He offers salvation and forgiveness of sin through the grace of God and his death on the cross. The system of cause and effect, challenge and response, growth until death, action and reaction to existential mass motion time-space forces or vicissitudes, and the complete dialectical relationships of simultaneous biological social evolution individually and in concert, clash and adaptation or physical response modifications to different factors that for millions of years predominated the physical development of the Hulkian and streamlining bipeds that eventually became the form for the soul experience of the emergent Homo sapiens sapiens was overcome. The physical universe is ultimately reliant on spirit. Faith transcends temporal ontology, seeking reunion with the materially alienated and occluded spirit. Humanity, in overcoming the challenges of the natural environment, except its general preservation, first destroyed it and eventually removed all the infirmities and competition of mortal bodies and co-development with the natural world, setting themselves up to destroy humankind itself. Scientific accretion of technology occurred with the pooling of information from problem solving on a number of different fronts. Metallurgy, biology, astronomy, math made an increasing rate of change in knowledge of technique, basic physical principles, and depleted the ecosystem. The sustainability of the ecosystem for millennia was thought of not at all, or regarded as an inexhaustible storehouse of material to exploit. Unfortunately, humanity did not apply itself early enough to avoid chaos. General systems analysis of humanity's own use of technology, its ways of combining and applying technological systems in the environment, effects of social, existential, organizational inertia, repressing individual liberty to think for oneself, need to regulate and study the effects of technology or society, liberty and ecosystem, and effects of allowing large human organizations to erase individual liberty were not prioritized. Technology was traditionally invented and applied to the world in a sort of anarchic spontaneity as it was made. The rationale that market forces would decide what is good was a tautology employed to support the chaos or repressed study of systems, analytical research into specific systems effects of multiple applied technologies. Capitalism, after the end of the Cold War, was used as a justification for any aggressive taking of material or capital, corrupting the right role of capitalism subordinate to democratic national interests. Capitalism became a term separated from its right meaning and sanctified any criminal activity. Capitalism was the excuse used to disregard political and environmental rationality and responsibility. Capitalism was elevated to the status of secular religion that would govern all human affairs toward a utilitarian utopia. Capitalism was the magic captain that would let all aboard the passenger ships stay in the gambling and pleasure halls without need for anyone on the bridge. Rational government officers or navigator Adam Smith would never have been so completely daft. Chaos relied on the ancient assumption that the natural world was an inexhaustible storehouse that couldn't be harmed or extirpated, or that market forces would analyze the social and ecological effects of applied technology before its introduction, while the unlimited use of all technology made for the best way of life. Corporations did not volunteer selfless governing services to keep the environment and humanity healthy. When the challenge of the world were defeated and humanity became the challenge to itself, it faced the challenging new paradox of losing if it defeated itself as a challenge ending human freedom, and losing if it simply annihilated reason as a principle in being. A plethora of Russian roulette-like opportunities for the destruction or malformation of the universe itself intentionally through irrationality and different engineering or weapons of cosmic mass destruction were brought into being in pursuit for capital gains and by human nature. There was another way. Matthew, it is written that broad is the road to destruction, and many there are who take it, and narrow is the gate to salvation, and few there are that find it. Mankind has made itself alien to the universe. The human response to the universe, anthropomorphically speaking, was to reject humanity's strange molecular and structural schism within the natural flow of mass space-time motion. Morosely, I left the ruins of the History Tower disappointed, searching for survivors. No radiation was present either. It was a clean blast. The scene remained flooded, and emergency and forensic personnel